Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Last week was certainly a thing. In entertainment, something big happened. Oblivion Remastered dropped. I'm pretty sure it was last week. I think it was Tuesday. I'm really excited for it. Oblivion was one of my favorite time sinks in the mid-2000s. I'm glad to see the game companies cash in the right way for once. That said, there was a small controversy you may have heard of. The character select screen changed male and female to body types 1 and 2. From the footage I've seen, that's the only controversial change that they've made. I will ignore all the joking about the resist fire potions. Then I noticed a lot of people getting really upset by this small change. The character select screen, not the strangely thick fiery Daedra. I get it, we're in a highly charged environment and some of y'all definitely need girlfriends. The situation has been dire for so long and many of us are on a hair trigger. I felt it was important to reiterate the age-old wisdom of choose your battles. It's a very good piece of wisdom. It can save you a lot of grief and prevent us from wasting our time. To phrase another way, the best battles are those you can win without fighting. This isn't to pick one side or the other. I am on one side, but that's not the point. The point is, this body type decision was meant to be a goad. When you're fighting a culture war, optics matter. They often matter more than your arguments. Getting your opponent to jump at shadows is a good strategy, and that's just what a lot of folks did. I should clarify. From the footage I've seen of Oblivion Remastered, it looks like it's just a graphical upgrade with some things thrown in to make the game better. The body type thing was at best a cosmetic change that literally affected nothing else in the game. If you picked the body type that looks like a man, the NPCs in the game will treat your character like a man. Literally nothing of the gameplay changed. I hate to give modern activists credit for thinking this far ahead, but this was probably a trap. It was done to get a certain group of people mad and make them look like they were calling woke, where there was little to no woke actually present. Thus, having an example they can point to and go, "See, they call everything woke," which they will now do. This is probably the reason Bethesda didn't advertise the remake or have any fanfare for it at all. The remake of Oblivion was going to be a hit regardless of advertising. Why take the chance of someone discovering or leaking the minor change in the character creation and potentially lose customers? Which they absolutely would have. Had they started a big ad campaign about the game, and this part of the character creation was seen or leaked, videos would have been made, declarations made that it was more woke slop, and many customers would have been turned off. I have to give Bethesda credit where credit is due. They knew some activist devs were likely to slip something small in. They knew the new media would seize on it if they knew, and so just bypassed any chance of that and just dropped the game on Steam. I think it was a Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. This way, players got to see how little had changed before any videos came out. Mods could be made to fix what people didn't like. A tradition with all Bethesda games, and the culture war controversies couldn't really impact the game sales, and neither side could build up ahead of Steam in time. This will probably be their strategy for all future remakes. I'm greatly looking forward to Morrowind Remastered, but I'm pretty sure they're not willing to work that hard. So why am I advocating for discretion when calling out stuff like this? I know there are many people who see a lot of things in modern culture as an affront to their deeply held beliefs. Well, when you're in a culture war, resources matter, and credibility is your most important resource. You need to be judicious about what you throw your weight behind. This pinprick attack on gamers was probably meant to make them expend precious ammo, as stated earlier. As tempting as it can be to jump at even the slightest indication of people messing with our media, sometimes you have to do the opposite. There are other people involved in the production of the things we love outside the activists. Sometimes you'll be more effective complimenting what the company got right. If you've read Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, you've probably taken away the message that the quickest way to turn people against you is to criticize them, and that most people are hungry for praise. We all want to feel like we're doing a good job, even soulless, money-hungry corporations. It's important to remember criticism is easier to take when it feels like it's coming from a good place. In this case, I think it's best to praise the company for what they got right. And it looks like they got a lot right. Oblivion Remastered appears to be a faithful adaptation, for the most part. The weird giant mouths and absolutely hideous characters are troubling, but the models in Oblivion were famously horrible, so in a way, even that's faithful to the original. Make sure to praise what the company did right. Let them know what you want more of. Then let them know what you can do without. I saw calls for boycotts of the game. I know a lot of people are coming off the high of destroying brands that went a bit crazy. Remember, boycotts are hard. To reference another book, Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky, people are reluctant to join in a protest if it looks hard, inconvenient, or will cost them something. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult, often requiring greater motivation. I've been around for a while. When I was a kid back in the 90s, I remember everyone at my church deciding they were going to boycott Disney because of some pride event they were doing at the parks. Yeah, this stuff has been going on for a while. The boycott didn't work. Most people didn't care. All that happened was a few kids didn't get to watch popular movies over the years it took the small group that did boycott to grow tired of it. If you want to have an effective protest, and have people actually participate in it, there are a few rules you have to follow. First, try to make it something fun. It would have to be something people would want to join, something that they would enjoy taking part in. People like being in on the joke. The most effective protests are often little more than a trolling that appeals to a larger number of people. We are social animals. If the shaming looks fun, most will want to join in. Second, it needs to be low cost. People never just do anything. If your argument starts with, well, if people would just, it's probably a bad argument. You hear this kind of thing with taxes. If everyone would just stop paying taxes, is not a good argument. The government doesn't like being cut off from its money, and some people get to be made an example of, and nobody wants to be made an example of. It's like the recent meme of the 100 men versus 1 gorilla. The caveat is everyone has to be really dedicated because there is a strong likelihood that that gorilla is going to be ruining, if not ending, a few people's day. It takes very strong reasons to make people stand on the front lines. It's a problem militaries have had for most of human history. People also don't like to do without. Take the idea of losing weight. Technically, it's an easy problem from a logical standpoint. Eat less and move more. But that's not how we're programmed. Eating is something we enjoy doing, and hunger is not something we enjoy suffering. Eating makes us feel good, and hunger makes us feel bad. Incentives dictate behavior. You can apply this to almost every predicament humans find ourselves in. So when you tell a bunch of people they need to do without to stand up for principles A, B, or C, you'd better have some really compelling arguments. Third, there has to be something there. Imagine, if you will, you dieted and exercised for a whole year. The doctor gave you a plan and you faithfully stuck to it. You missed out on all the good meals and holidays, going out to eat, and were sore and hungry throughout the whole year. Then your checkup comes around and not only do you weigh the same, you're not even healthier for it. You would probably never listen to that doctor again. The same is true for political action. If you call for a boycott and the only thing that's wrong with the game is a minor cosmetic choice, people aren't going to listen to you in the future. Or at least they're not going to take you as seriously. To put it another way, everyone wants to be the troll and no one wants to be the trolled. When you can send your opponents into hysterics with the slightest provocation, life is good. You feel justified in your positions and confident in your ideology. When your enemies can effectively pick and prod you to fray your emotions and make you miserable, life is bad. You hate everyone and everything. You'll probably make everyone around you miserable. It's the difference between being the confident, funny person and the neurotic basket case. Who do you want to be around? I'm not telling you to go out and troll. I'm telling you to act as the person you want to be. It's often more effective to claim something, discard the parts meant to goad you, and smile. Nothing makes you look like you're more in the right than your enemies freaking out and demanding everyone act on their behalf. There is a time for outrage, but it's important to be judicious regardless of the direction of the wind. Nothing will be perfect. Nothing will 100% meet your demands, and it's better to take the minor imperfections and be thankful than to demand action every time someone goads you. It's no fun being morally policed, and it's no fun being the moral police. We have to learn to have fun again, and not freak out every time an activist slips something into our favorite media. From what I can see, this is a turning point in entertainment. It's the companies making an about face and giving us something we want after decades of decidedly not giving us the things we want. Little jabs like this one have been in entertainment for decades. They won't be removed or discouraged by ineffective boycotts. Popularity and majority opinions can't be steered like a car. All you can do is try to influence where it goes by being the better option, by being more enjoyable than the others, and by not freaking out all the time. Gamers didn't like being nagged by the woke in the 2010s and the 2020s, any more than they enjoyed being nagged by the right in the 90s and 2000s. Selecting your battlefield is just as important as the weapons you bring to it. To sum it up, it's better to look for hills that you can win from than die on. Good luck, everyone.